First order of business, call the roll.
Commissioner Cook? Here. Commissioner Gammon?
Present.
Commissioner Dodd? Present. Commissioner Johnson?
Here.
Commissioner Buchanan?
Here.
Commissioner Gooch?
Here.
Chairman McAdoo?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Oh, wait, thank you. Next, approval of the minutes. Commissioner Johnson?
Mr. Chairman, I reviewed the minutes and find them in order and move for approval.
Motion, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Got one change on our agenda. We're going to move proposed city of Murfreesboro Waterline construction easement on Rutherford County property. We're gonna move it up and hear it right now, if you don't mind. Gonna come up and present it.
Hi. Okay. So I'm here before you again. I was here previously for a temporary construction easement and some reclassification of existing easement and some permanent waterline easement before the Salem Highway project started, to request easement from the county for a water line. And so I get an email a couple of weeks ago that says the contractor has requested temporary construction easement on the jail site, Rutherford County Detention Center site, and that is for him to be able to bore underneath. He needs to dig a bore pit to be able to dig under and bore underneath Salem Highway to connect a water line that's on the consolidated utility district side of the road to the jail side of the road. We're trying to make a water loop there because the consolidated utility district side has a dead-end water line. So contractor requested that we ask for temporary construction easement, and I think it's shown in a little diagram in orange. It's a pit, I think about 15 to 20 feet wide and 40 feet long. It is temporary, and so after they finish the bore of the casing underneath Salem Highway and make those water connections, they'll fill it back in and reseed and grade and reseed and straw the yard there.
Okay, any questions? Anna?
This is to bore under the road? Is this?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
My only question is the question from the original time was make sure the Sheriff's Department still has, the water will not be cut off for this.
Well, there is one, so we laid the new water line. It's across the jail property. We've worked with, and the jail has a plan. There is a time that the jail will, at Salem Highway, have a disconnect, but they are back looped and looped into Malloy Lane as well with a fire line. So they have a plan in place to keep the jail pressurized on their fire suppression system while we make the tie-in at Salem Highway.
Okay.
Okay. Other question? Commissioner Dodd?
No question. I've reviewed the plans with Keith and Valerie, and with Mr. Gammon's confirmation of having a plan for keeping water going, I'll make a motion to approve.
A motion, do I hear a second? I hear a second. Any other discussion on? Not, call the roll.
Commissioner Cook? Yes. Commissioner Gammon?
Yes.
Commissioner Dodd?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson? Yes. Commissioner Buchanan? Yes. Commissioner Gooch? Yes. Chairman McAdoo?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Next, CCRC Generations connected. Adam?
So, the commission approved funding for repairs and installed a new roof for the existing tar and gravel roof. The areas that you see on the screen, that area is approximately 22,000 square foot. The new system that the funding was approved for will come with a 10-year warranty, and at the end of that 10-year, it will be renewable for an additional 10 years. The contractor has set a tentative date to start for the second week of September. Any questions?
Any questions?
Mr. Chairman, I just want to say thank you, Commissioner Dodd, and others who actually questioned why aren't we taking a look at the Aztec acrylic system. And once we got some firm numbers, it was probably a third of what had been quoted by Rinks to go with a conventional rubber system. So big savings, and I think we'll even see savings on the inside, because by going with that type of roof, they'll put 3 inches, I think once they get the gravel off, they'll put 3 inches of foam and then acrylic on top of that, and it'll be white. Yes. And they said it'll probably knock 70 degrees temperature-wise. And from the black tar pitched roof, it'll knock the temperature down on the inside, so that'll really help on the HVAC. And Keith, you all haven't had any problems since you put that system on? No leaks or anything? Yeah, that's awesome. I understand that they just put one on the Boys and Girls Club, their building as well.
Oh.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, any other questions concerning the roof? I don't know if we need to vote on this or not, because we already passed it. Already passed the roof. It's already passed.
Yeah, it's already passed.
That's just for information only. Yes, sir. No,
It's already passed.
we passed it at the last commissioner meeting. Okay, next. No more questions. Next, 20 North update.
So, also at the same commission, funding was approved for the repairs to the HVAC duct system at 20 North. We have already completed the initial phase last week of locating and insulating all the VAV coils and those transitions that we spoke about in last month's property management. I've been over there multiple times, and I've spoke with the contractor every day, and he's saying that he thinks that about 90% of the condensation issues that we were having have been solved. So far, all the tiles that were wet have dried. We're not seeing any accumulating water to this point. The second phase of we were going to install some additional vents. We were going to try to pull some humidity out of that plenum and try to condition some of that space to try to equalize that air. We have coordinated the relocation of the IT server rack that was in question, and that equipment, as far as there's some alarm equipment, some door security equipment. We have a new location, and that move should be complete by next week. any questions.
Any questions? Just a comment from me. I went over there that Monday and reviewed it like I said I would, and it was definitely an emergency, definitely. Say that we got 90% of it solved already and moving the servers is great, because the servers couldn't have stayed in there and operating not too much longer. Everything is moving smooth on that, so it was an emergency. So when we brought it up the night of the commissioner meeting, that we had to do something that night. So good, just keep us posted on progress of that project.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next on the agenda, One Stop.
Okay, so we spoke last, we know that initially we had some soil issues with Blackman at the One Stop, but we have, they're moving forward very well on that project. They've made up some ground during the rough framing stages. The contractor informed me this week that they've actually made up enough time and that they estimate possibly a completion date of 6 weeks before the initial completion date. The sheathing is up, as you can see. That's from the side rear. So they're about 90% on the roof deck. That should be finished this week. The roofing materials are on site. The contractor anticipates that the building will be fully roofed by the end of next week. The interior plumbing and electrical is right at 50% right now, and that completes that report.
Any questions on One Stop?
Mr. Chairman, I don't have a question, I just have a suggestion. Adam, do you have the contact for Commissioner Jeff Long with the Department of Safety? You have any contact information for him?
I do not.
Okay. If you can get some information to contact him and give him kind of a little bit of an update, because he was very interested in this a couple of years ago, actually almost 3 years ago now, and he's very excited about it. So if you give him a little bit of a update on the progress on it, it kind of make his day, because the THP just had a tragedy in losing a helicopter pilot over here on Sunday, and they need a little bit of encouragement and some good news. I'd appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Johnson. Any other questions on One Stop? Not next on Public Health and Safety Buildings update.
Okay, so Rockville, as you can see from the pictures, that was actually taken today. They are about 90 to 95% on their structural steel. They have about 3 or 4 trusses left to set. They anticipate the decking materials on site next week and the roof deck to be completed within the next 2 weeks. The interior plumbing is complete. The contractor will start grading for the site contract within 2 weeks. That completes that report.
Any questions on Rockville?
So we'll move to the Kittrell site. All the underground plumbing and electrical rough-in has been complete. They're prepping the site this week for the slab. The contractor has scheduled August 30th to begin pouring concrete for the slab. And he has tentatively scheduled the masons for the following week to begin exterior block walls. And that project, of course, is right on time. Correct, yes. That completes the report on Kittrell. I'll just briefly touch on Las Casas and Walter Hill because Mike was unable to attend tonight, and so since they're still in the planning stages, just briefly, both Las Casas and Walter Hill Public Health and Safety Building site plans have been reviewed and approved by Rutherford County Planning Commission, with the exception of a few outstanding comments that need to be corrected by a design team. Since the Walter Hill Public Health and Safety will be on city sewer, it will also have to be reviewed and approved by Murfreesboro Planning.
That was passed
Okay.
17. It's already passed City
Passed
Planning
the
Commission. Yes.
Yes, both sites, that's what I was getting at. Both sites have their state stormwater permits. Once the few outstanding items are addressed on each site plan and a contractor is selected for each project by the PBA, the Rutherford County Planning and Engineering Department can hold the pre-con meetings and start moving dirt to prep the sites for these two buildings.
Commissioner Johnson?
One little minute. I have the contact information here for Commissioner Long. If I just need the card back. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any other updates on public health and safety building? Commissioner
Just a
Dodd?
comment. Thanks for the pictures. I like to get a visual, and it's kind of fun to watch the progress. So, thanks for that tool. That helps.
Any other questions? Not any other business to come before the committee? Commissioner Cook?
I learned a few minutes ago. You got a box I can stand on? Adam has done a favor for the county, and we haven't recognized him to my knowledge. He made the stand that he's standing in front of here, standing in the back of it, and let's thank him for it.
Yep.
This is my last meeting for the county, and I'm going to retire.
Oh, well, you've been very faithful on this committee. Anybody else got any information? Any other business? Not, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Adjourn to Disney World.
All right.